The door to hell. In the middle of the Turkmenistan desert, there's a crater 70 meters wide that has been on fire for over 50 years. It started in 1971. Soviet engineers were drilling for gas when the ground collapsed under their rig, opening a crater that began leaking methane into the air. So they made a decision that sounds insane in hindsight. They lit it, expecting the gas to burn off in a few weeks. It's still burning today. Half a century of continuous fire, fed by a natural gas reserve so large that nobody knows when it will run out, because nobody knows how big it actually is. At night, the glow is visible from miles away, a ring of flame in an empty desert, which is how it earned its name. The door to hell. Scientists have found bacteria living in the burning soil at the rim, organisms thriving at the edge of a fire that never stops. The government has announced plans to extinguish it more than once. Every attempt has quietly failed. The fire was supposed to last 2 weeks. It has outlived the country that lit it. The ocean under the ice. 2 miles under the ice of Antarctica, there's a lake the size of Lake Ontario that no human has ever seen. It's called Lake Vostok, and it has been sealed under the ice sheet for at least 15 million years. No light, no air from the surface, completely cut off from every ecosystem on Earth. The pressure of the ice above keeps the water liquid, and for decades, scientists have asked one question: is anything alive down there? In 2012, a Russian team finally drilled through 2 miles of ice and touched the lake. The samples that came up contained DNA, thousands of sequences, some matching known microbes, others matching nothing in any database. But there's a problem. The drill used kerosene to keep the borehole open, so the samples may be contaminated, and the results are still argued about today. Which means the honest answer is this: there is a hidden ocean under Antarctica. It has been isolated since before humans existed, and we still don't know what lives in it. NASA watches Vostok closely, because a dark, sealed, liquid ocean under miles of ice is exactly what the moons of Jupiter and Saturn look like on the inside. If life exists here, it can exist there. The boiling river. Deep in the Peruvian Amazon, there's a river that boils. For generations, it existed only in local legend, a river so hot it cooks anything that falls in. Geologists dismissed it because boiling rivers need volcanoes, and the nearest volcanic center is hundreds of miles away. Then in 2011, a young scientist named Andres Russo hiked into the jungle to check the legend himself. It was real. 4 miles of river, up to 80 meters wide, with water reaching 99 degrees Celsius, hot enough that animals that slip in die within seconds. The locals have a name for it: Shane Timpishka, boiled by the heat of the sun. And here's the mystery: there is no volcano. The leading theory is that the river is fed by a massive hydrothermal system, rainwater that sinks deep into the earth, heats up along a fault line, and rises back out through the jungle floor. But the sheer volume of boiling water is unlike anything else on the planet without volcanic activity. The local shamans always said the river was sacred, protected by spirits. Science arrived, measured it, and confirmed at least one part of the legend: this river should not exist. It does. The Silent Zone. In the Mexican desert, between 3 states, there's a patch of land where radio signals are said to die. Locals call it La Zona del Silencio. The legend exploded in 1970 when an American military test rocket veered wildly off course and crashed there, hundreds of miles from its target. The recovery operation sealed off the area for weeks, and the stories never stopped. Compasses spinning, radios cutting out, strange lights. Here's what's scientifically true. The zone sits on a magnetic anomaly, patches of ground rich in magnetite and iron ore that can genuinely interfere with compasses and weak signals. It also gets hit by an unusual number of meteorites, which scientists believe is coincidence, but which keeps the legend alive. And the desert itself is genuinely strange. It's home to a purple cactus found almost nowhere else, and wildlife with unusual mutations that researchers have studied for decades. Most of the paranormal claims collapse under testing. Radios mostly work fine. But the magnetic ground is real, the rocket crash is real, and the mutations are real. Sometimes a legend is just a place where too many true things happened at once. Blue fire. On the island of Java, there's a volcano that burns blue. At night, its slopes light up with electric blue flames, rivers of fire flowing downhill like something from another planet. The volcano is called Kawaijan, and the fire isn't lava. It's sulfur. The volcano leaks sulfuric gas at 600 degrees Celsius, and the moment that gas touches oxygen, it ignites, burning with a blue flame that's almost invisible in daylight and unmistakable in the dark. Some of the gas condenses into liquid sulfur, which flows down the mountain still burning. Blue rivers of fire. At the volcano's crater sits a lake of turquoise water so beautiful it looks photoshopped. and so acidic it can dissolve metal. Its pH is close to battery acid, making it the largest acid lake on Earth. And here's the part that turns this place from strange to unforgettable. People work inside it. Local miners climb into the crater every day to break off slabs of hardened sulfur and carry them out on their backs. Loads heavier than their own bodies through gas that can kill without a respirator. They earn a few dollars a day. Tourists come for the blue fire. The miners walk past them, into it. The sea under the Sahara. Beneath the Sahara Desert, the driest place on Earth, there is water, an ocean of it. It's called the Nubian Sandstone Aquifer, and it stretches under Egypt, Libya, Sudan, and Chad. A hidden sea holding more water than all the rivers on the surface of the planet combined. The water is ancient. It fell as rain up to 1,000,000 years ago, back when the Sahara was green, a land of lakes, grasslands, and hippos. When the climate shifted and the desert took over, the water sank into the sandstone and stayed there, sealed in the dark, while civilizations rose and fell above it. Fossil water, from a world that no longer exists. Today, it's being pumped to the surface. Libya's Great Man-Made River project pulls millions of cubic meters a day from the aquifer to supply its cities, through one of the largest engineering projects in human history. But here's the catch. The rain that made this water stopped falling thousands of years ago. Nothing is refilling it. Every drop pumped out is a drop from a finished era. And when it runs out, it's out. The greatest desert on Earth is floating on the ghost of its own green past. And we are drinking it.